ようこそばんさいチャンネルへ。今回もキングダムカムデリバランスの続きをプレイしていきましょう。さて、北側の炭職人を問い詰めるというところからでしたね。この先だな。事故なんだ。この辺りか。よしっと。どうも。マジか。赤髪を探している。
I'm searching for a stable boy from Neuhof. They call him Ginger.
I know him right enough, but I don't know where he is now.
He's run away from the stud farm. I have to find him.
Well, he's definitely not here. Try the other charcoal burners camp downstream. Maybe he's there.
下流か。なるほど。クエスト開始、ラッタイと以上。そういえば一回も言ってなかったな。よいしょ。下流ね。下流というとこっち側か。よいしょ。こんにちは。どうも。
What do you want?
赤髪を探している。
Looking for Ginger from Neuhof. Was he here by any chance?
Ginger, you say? Would he be a red-haired fella?
Yes,
I've
seen him.
Let me see now. There was a stranger around here. He didn't have red hair though, so.
本当か？なんか怪しいぞ。あんたが赤髪を知ってると言われたんだ。
Really? Because your neighbors told me they know Ginger and that he comes to visit you.
Can't believe everything you hear. They probably just wanted to get rid of you.
There's no reason not to believe them. I'm investigating the massacre at Neuhof, and that boy knows something about it. I have to talk to him, damn it.
All right.
さもないとバラバラにする
First,
ぞ。
you have to prove you're on the right side.
How?
There's been two armed men wandering around asking about Ginger.
なんだろ
Cutthroats by the look of them. Get rid of them, and we'll let you see Ginger.
う。おう。わかった。奴らをどうにかしよう。
All right, I'll deal with them.
I'm glad to hear it. I'd say they're somewhere between here and our neighbors upstream. There's a place there where poachers used to meet before we came here, but it's abandoned now. The path to it leads straight from the stream. Try looking around there.
All right, I'll have a look there. Thank you.
Bye.
さて。盗賊とも片付けた。嘘
I found those bandits and took care of them.
I'm glad to hear it.
成功
If it's true.
If you don't believe me, I can take you to their bodies.
All right.
いいね。
Ginger's hiding out in a ruined hut not far from here. You go north along the road to Ujits until you see a path to the right that leads to a spring. There's an overgrown path from there that'll lead you to where Ginger is. But it's easy to miss it.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
どうも。とは言ったものの、その、仕留めてなかったから、狙ってきたりしてる。ま、嘘800で、クエストが進むんだ。楽なもんよ。この辺りだな。さて。おい、赤髪。あ、いたいたいた。おい。
Jesus, you've led me a merry dance.
What do you want from me?
なんだ、ボロボロじゃないか。
A couple of questions. Why did you run off like that? Where are your cronies? And why did you kill that bandit?
What?
Right, one thing at a time.
どうして逃げた
Why did you run off in such a hurry?
Because I was afraid they'd come back and kill me.
Who?
Those bandits, of course.
To get revenge on you for killing their mate?
Killing? Me? I never killed anyone. God is my witness.
お前の仲間はどこにいる
I'm looking for your friends. Where are they?
Charcoal burners? They're over at the...
To hell with the charcoal burners. Where are your bandit mates?
They're not my mates. They nearly killed me. I recognized one of them, so I thought they'd come back and...
Recognized? Who was it? talk!
Don't know his name, only that he's from Ushitz and he has a limp.
その足の悪い男について教えてくれ。
What can you tell me about him? How do you know him?
I saw him a few times in the tavern in Ushitz, playing dice and boozing.
And?
I know he lives in a house on the edge of the village, but that's all I know. I never talked to him.
どうしてあの族を殺したの？
Why did you kill that bandit?
What? Bandit? I never killed anyone.
This is yours, isn't it? I pulled it from the belly of a dead bandit near the stud farm.
That is mine, but I didn't stab him. That fellow took it from me.
What fellow?
I don't know his name, but he's from Ushitz, and
He limps and he's from Ushitz. That's not much to go on, but I suppose it'll have to do.
it's all I know. I never talked to him.
あの折に起こったことを全て話せ。
And now tell me exactly what happened. And don't leave anything out.
That's quite a long story.
話してくれ。
Don't worry, I won't get bored.
All right.
包み隠さず
I
だぞ。
woke up in the middle of the night because I needed to go for a piss.
そこまではいらな
I
い。
went out into the dark, same as usual, only there was something there that shouldn't have been. At first I thought it was just a trick of the light, but it wasn't. And then it was too late. They went past and I thought they must be horse thieves. I would have yelled, only I was afraid they'd kill me. So I waited until they were out of sight and I started to sneak away.
なんで黙ってたん
Then
だ
the
よ。
slaughtering started.
Yes. I thought they'd steal the horses and ride off. That would be bad enough, but then all the killing started and flames everywhere. It was terrible, like hell itself.
And then?
It seemed some of them didn't like it either. They started
Oh.
squabbling among themselves, and some of them started running back where they came from, right towards me. And I had that thing in my hand, the hoof pick.
So you stabbed the first one in the belly?
No. He ran right into me. He was running fast for a fellow with a limp. He pushed me aside and I fell on the ground. Then he told me I'd better lie low if I valued my life. He ran off with the others. I did what he said and hid. Then the rest of the gang ran past.
And then?
盗賊の中でも話が通じる奴がいるようだな。
Ushitz came back. I didn't dare come out until I was sure. I think it was almost light.
連中が揉めていた理由は？
Do you know what they argued about?
I didn't hear everything, but I reckon some of them were only there to steal and wanted no part in the killing.
なるほど。他の連中は？
What about the others? Was there anything you noticed about them?
I don't know. There might have been maybe 8 of them, and
8
2 of them
人か。
were really big. That's all I can remember.
大変だったな。
That sounds terrible. I know exactly how you feel.
If only I yelled. Maybe they...
その通りだな。
If you had, you'd most likely be dead. You probably wouldn't have done any good anyway.
But still.
どうかな？
There was nothing you could do. That's all.
なんで今アスホールって言ったの？もう十分だ
I've。heard everything I need to hear, so I'll leave you be.
Wait! What about me? Won't you help me out?
何？
Perhaps I could. What would you like?
I'd like to go back to the stud farm, but those cutthroats who want to kill me are still around. Will you help me?
どこにいるか分かればできるかもしれない。奴らの仕事はついてる
All
ぞ
over。with them. You've nothing more to fear.
Really? God bless you. But there's just one thing.
なんだ？
I'm afraid to go back to the farm. I ran away, and God knows what they'll think about it. I don't know if they'll even want to talk to me.
彼らを説得しに行ってもいい。自分で確かめろ。自分で確かめろ。
Just try, and you'll see whether they drive you away or not. But if you explain it to them, they're sure to understand.
I suppose you're right. Thank you for your help, and God bless you.
結構だ。さてと、じゃあ、隊長のところに戻ればいいのかな？いたいた。おい。
Well, look who deigns to grace us with his presence.
I was looking for that boy, and
And you didn't bother telling anyone.
I had to follow the trail before it went cold.
And what if some bandit skewered you and left you for dead? We'd never find you because you told no one where you were going. How would I explain that to Sir Radzik, eh?
ほうれん草大事だ
Oh,
ね。
my lord. He disappeared without saying a word to anyone. Never crossed my mind he wanted to get himself killed.
I.
やれやれ。
Silence! Keep your ignorant mouth shut when I'm giving you the benefit of a veteran's wisdom. You do what I tell you, answer only when I ask, and not go roaming off whenever you feel like it. I'd like to kick your arse back to the castle and be shut of you. But it's true, you're a fucking peasant who knows nothing about soldiering. It's my job to whip you into shape, so I'm not done with you yet. God have mercy on you if you ever try anything like that again. If you're lucky, I'll only have you whipped and clapped in the stocks. Because if I get my way, you'll be hanged for desertion. I
お
hope
っ
we've
と
got that out of the way. I've made myself absolutely clear. And now, let's hear what you have to report.
どうも。ノイホフの収益者が分かった。
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Out with it then.
Ginger fled because he recognized one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Ujits.
All right. Since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around in Ujits. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway. Sir Radzik will tell you about it. He said to send you to him if you haven't already been.
戦利
I
品を
have
渡す。
some trophies.
Let's see. Good. Good. That's how to treat the bastards.
よし。さてと、じゃあ。その足の悪い男のとこに行きゃいいんだな。この人ここにいたのか。
What do you want?
盗賊たちへの新しい手がかりを見つけた。
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
では手短に。
Well, in the end, I tracked down the stable boy who fled in fear of his life. For good reason, too. He put me on the trail of a crofter from Ujits with a limp.
And his name?
The boy didn't know my name, only by sight. But if I ask around, I'm sure folk will know who limps and keeps peculiar company. Villagers like to gossip.
But what if he's not there? He could have fled, maybe even to Kuttenberg.
If I don't find him in Ujits, I'll ask around. Someone will know something about him.
All right. Better go to Ujits then. Find this limping footpad and get the names of the others out of him. They have to face justice for what they did. I want to see them hang. Then bring him to me in Merhoyed and I'll decide on his fate.
Certainly, sir.
なぜマホイエドに行かれるので？
Why choose Merhoyed?
It's somewhat at the center of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere and we can't guard them all.
The bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver. It's about something else.
But what?
何が起きてい
Creating
た？
fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
だが何のために？調査の報告がある。
I have some news about the investigation, sir.
Good. Tell me.
手がかりはウージツ。あ、もういいか。
The trail.
これもいいんだな。
That's all I've...
All right.
えっと。よし。じゃあ、今度こそウージツに行けばいいんだな。さてと、まずは聞き込みかな。どうも、お嬢さん。
Good morning.
足の悪い男につい
I'm
て。
looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name. Do you know anyone with a limp?
That'll be Lubosh.
ルボシ。
Gallows bait if I ever saw one. His place is at the end of the village, next to the stream. Take him and welcome.
おお、もう見つかっちゃったよ。ずいぶん簡単だったら。で、ちょっと、ルボシね。とは言ったもの、盗賊は盗賊だからな。用心しないと。よいしょ。この辺かな。ここか。さて、一応念のため。OK。何の騒ぎだ。なんだなんだ。こいつか、ルボシュ。なんか血がついてるような。
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry
No.
of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really?
こいつらでは
They
な
say
さ
you
そう
had
だ
a
な。
limp?
音
Shit. Allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh,
おっと、まさか
or all that's left of him.
血が。なんだ。おやおや。やってくれるじゃないか。
Sakura.
Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions.
だがなぜ殺す必要があった。
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
ルボシとは。
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
なるほど。なぜ、何か怪しいとこはなかったか。
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
なるほど。彼に仲間はいた？
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I
いい
saw
卑
him.
怯神ね。ノイホフが襲撃されている彼はどこに？
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
ということは完全に黒か。なぜ彼は足が悪かったの？
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
なるほど。いつ死体が発見されたの？
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
両親についてさ、
Another thing about Lubosh.
特にないな。会話終了。よいしょ。これひどいね。
What's
頭
this?
部。
Looks like someone's hit him very hard on the head. Could they have bludgeoned him to death and then gutted him?
な
That
る
would
ほど。
explain why he didn't scream.
なんかちょっと 見ちゃいけない、映しちゃいけないものが映ってるのに、気のせいか。
What's this? Looks like someone's hit him very hard on the head.
これ、
Could they have bludgeoned him
内臓
and then gutted him?
だよね。
Oh, that's the one made him scream.
内臓だよね。よしよし。他は。読む。
An inscription in blood. It's a pity I don't know how to read. Looks like they wanted to give someone a warning. But who? And a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day.
なるほど。何か他に手がかりは、あ、食い物。よし。他に何か手がかりはないか。よいしょ。これはロックピック。ちょっと一応、よいしょ。捕まるのも厄介だからな。これだ。何かないかな。何もないわ。よいしょ。特に怪しいものはないな、他に。ルボシについてさらに調べる。
Day. Another thing about Luke. Been a pleasure.
Thank the Lord you made it out alive. Mother of God! You look like you've been assaulted.
I've come in the
ルボシについて何か知らないか？
I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Ask away.
殺されたルボシの人物を何か怪しいと思ったことないか？
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
The only thing seemed suspicious was how a rogue like him suddenly started going to church. Now I see why, of course.
教会か。なるほど。ありがとう。
That's all. Thank you.
Sure. Farewell.
教会ね。教会はこの辺のはずだな。なんか今シーフとか言ってなかった？ここか、教会は。よいしょ。ここだよな。よいしょ。ここだな。あれ？司祭はどこだ？あれか。何してんだこいつ。こいつか？神父。おい。剣の扱いを知ってるな。
I see you know how to wield a sword, father. I wouldn't have expected that from a man of the cloth.
With a stick. I practice with a stick. Reminder of my youth and days gone by, and it helps keep me in good form.
なるほど。ルボシについていくつか質問してもいいか？
Blessings of our good Lord be with you, father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof.
やはり教会人間は位が高いんだな。
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
そのハゲ頭引っ叩くぞ。
Was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
おう。何か疑わしいと感じたことは？
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child. All sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
だが結局それを決めてるのは自分だろ。
I'm sorry to hear that.
やれやれ。これだから生臭坊主の話は嫌なんだ。ノイホフが襲撃された日、ルボシは何をしていた？
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
何？
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
くだらん。例外があるはずだ。
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
死人に口なしだろうが。もう彼が気づくことはない。罪のない人々を死に追えるかもしれない。力ずくでお前に告白させてやる。こいつ結構強そうだからな。罪のない人々を死に追えるかもしれないぞ。
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I
失敗し
can't,
た。
because if I broke that vow, the consequences would be much worse than if I didn't. Maybe not immediately, but one day. The mills of God grind slowly.
こんな時でも神頼みか。手がかりは漁師だけなんだ。
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening. In the tavern. Over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Been a pleasure.
やれやれ。夜の酒場で教区司祭と会う。まったく、この生臭ボーダー、酒を飲むのか。やれやれ。夜になったから、生臭坊主はどこにいる？この中か？あ、いたいたいた。おい。
The blessings of our Lord be...
And with you, lad. Take a seat.
いただこう。で、
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
面倒なやっちゃな。スカリッツだ。
Scallots.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
死んだよ。
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
まあな、あの出来事は
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels.
身の上話をして、酒を進ませ、酔っ払わせ、吐かせるって手法だね。
bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch Bernard.
運が良かったのさ。
he did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujits, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Noyo? The good folks here about are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
大げさなものかよ。
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. Judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home.
あなたが剣を扱えることに気づいた。
I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
but this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
だが強いだろうな。本題に入らないか？
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
なるほど。なら、ここで手詰まりだ。ただの言い訳だ。なら手詰まりだな。
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
なんだ？
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
どういうことだ？
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
なるほど。
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. Tongue lashing about the two popes goes down.
意外とまともかもしれんな、こいつ。
And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
やれやれ。
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. The journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs. While Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences.
見た目に反して聖職者なんだな。
For you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering.
酒が回ってきたな。
Troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
あんたが法要を否定するのか、ヤンフスをどう思う？ヤンフス氏の主張について人々はどう思っている？
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
なるほど。説教についてはもう十分だ。
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
なんだこの生臭坊主は。まあいいか。
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
夜通し飲んでたのか。あ、うまそうな鶏肉だな、おい。おいおい。ずいぶん女性の方々が集まってきたぞ、おい。さっきこいつ、そういうことすんだとか言ってなかったか。乾杯。しかもダイスまでやってるし、言ってることとやってることが全然違うぞ。おいおいおい。おいおい、腕相撲まで始めたぞこいつら。何してんのこいつら。おいおい。
Enough of this. Hey, look. Come on over here. Sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out. Oh.
終わった。
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
仕方がないなあ。行くぞ。トゥッ、おら、ティー、おらのしゃ、おら。おっとっと。おいおい、ずいぶん酔っ払ってるぞ。え、一つ聞いていい？え、ゴドウィンの愛人。おい、こいつ愛人までいるのかよ。ほんと生臭坊主だな。
Jesus.
よいしょ。
I could really do with some sleep.
とんでもねえ坊主もいたもんだぜ。
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
金か。
We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
何してるんだろう。
This is wonderful.
うわ、汚ねえ。あれ、本当にあれ牧師なんだろうな。
And now, my dears, comes the climax.
何？あったく、飲みすぎだ。おい、神父。おい。めーじゃねえやったくよ。ここどこだよ、しかも。おい。めーじゃねえよ。おい、神父。おい。ダメだ、こいつ。
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
ひどいな、これは。これはひどい。うえひどすぎる。どういうことだよ、この状況。
Godwin, you beast. Get up. Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards.
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry.
We have a wonderful time.
ああ、もう嫌というほどな。
Did you old lecher? Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. Oh my guts. My poor suffering stomach.
生臭坊主。
Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten? Where the fuck am I? What the fuck was it?
どうしようもねえな。
Mass. Oh shit, I have to
ミ
say
サ
mass.
か。
I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me. I'd like
もう
to
今
help.
日の昨日のやつでも波紋だよ。
You can do the sermon for me.
何
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No, I got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night.
少々どころじゃない
Caleb,
よ
for。someone else complains about me. The bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless.
うえ
How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
なんだっておい。朝、昨日言ってたこととまるで違うじゃねえか。うまくいきっこない。分かった。でも結果は保証できないぞ。
All right. I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that.
覚えてないよ、
No
も
need
う
to。drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
たくよ。よいしょ。しかしまあ、不思議と。よいしょ。ったく、どうすりゃいいんだよ。とりあえずまず服に着替えてと。よし。よいしょ。世界が揺らぐ。ミサはここか。うわぁ。本当にうまくいくのか、こんなの。やばい。今までで一番面白いわ、キングダムカム。もう、完全に吐き出しそうだよ。
I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that.
どうなるんだ。
Nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
アメン。もう手がふらついてる。
Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas.
ひどすぎる。こんなひどい礼拝見たことねえ。
In meam commemoration.
さすがに神様もイカズチを落とすぞ。どうした？お、昨日の姉ちゃんか。
You may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where by the grace of God was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching.
そんなことしてないよ。
I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
やれやれ。死にそうだな、あいつ。さて。堂々とした説教を始める。長々とした説教を始める。謙虚な説教を始める。堂々といくか。
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
That whelp wants to preach about the church.
教会の様をおますの神である。彼らは不可知な聖職書を細く読む。
Just as we are commanded to obey the priests in matters of virtue, so are we commanded to defy them face to face if they live contrary to God's commandments.
Hear that, Godwin?
荒々しく続ける。
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay. And you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
淫行の罪について話す。どうしよう。人間は罪を犯すものである。
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests.
ちょっと間違えたかも。
And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travelers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
Oh.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
荒々しく続ける。はい。
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
本当かよ。ゴドウィンのカツを持つ。少し引用する。
I say to you in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows, and he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbor one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion.
あ、失敗した。
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
アーメン。成功したか？
You know shame, you pair of buffoons. I'll be writing to the bishop on this. For shame.
大失敗。
Behavior for men of the cloth to get drunk.
あー、すまんな、酔いどれ神父。
So, is our deal still on? Are you pulling my fucking pizzle? I couldn't have done worse myself if I'd puked on the altar.
Well, I'm no preacher.
Yeah, I know this.
あー、面白い、面白い。ざまみでやがれ。
You can't be serious. After all that. All what? All you making a complete hash of my sermon? You were supposed to help, not get me into even more trouble. Now I have the bishop on my back and all the villagers. Just leave. I need to pull myself together.
あー、あった困ったな。
Find someone else to help you.
おい、マジかよ。うわ、最悪だ。いや、困ったな。まさか失敗。教えてくんねえのかよ。困ったぞ。よいしょ。あ、こいつは？
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
ルボシについてなんか知らないか。この辺りで何があった？
Is there anything suspicious going on in these parts?
Indeed there is.
お？
Just last night, Father Godwin was here, calling fire and brimstone down on old Gertrude, the herb woman. He's not one to make a fuss over some trifle either. And there's more. Around here, you should hear about what Vashek the groom has been up to at the stables. When the head groom told the lads here, they fell off their seats laughing.
どういうことだ？ルボシについて何か知らないか？
Come in the name of Sir Hanish of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know nothing about it, but to ask all you want.
何か怪しいと思ったこと。会っていた人
Do
物。
you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
困ったな。
That's all. Thank you.
May the Lord watch over you.
あ、この人。
Good God. What
I've come in the name of Sir Hanish.
I don't know how I can.
誰か会って
Do
い
you
た？
know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
As far as I know, he had nobody at all in this world.
Who was
人
this
物
Lubosh?
像。
You could see it first.
Have you noticed?
困ったね。
I don't think.
That's all.
May the Lord watch over you.
じゃあ君は？
Greetings. What?
I've come in the name.
I don't know how I can help.
参ったな。
God bless.
君は？
I hope I can be.
I've come.
I don't know nothing about it.
Do you know what?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night,
Oh.
and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
Have you noticed that?
Come to.
That man Lu.
I didn't.
That's all.
困ったね、こりゃ。あ、君は？ゴドウィンの愛人。困ったな。ちょっと顔洗おう。よいしょ。もう一回ちょっと聞いてみるか。生臭坊主に。 あれいなくなっちまった。おーい。いねえや。火あぶりにされたかな。いないわ、本当に。まずいぞ。こいつは困ったぜ。いないあ、いたいたいた。おい。なんか仕事あるか。
My dear lad, I have to deal with a witch. The What you if
やれやれ困ったなぁ。結局この街に来たけど手がかり何もつかめずに今回のプレイが終わってしまったよ。まあしょうがねえな。はい。ということで、そろそろお時間の方がやってまいりました。次回、この次からやっていきましょう。この動画をお気に入りしましたら、ぜひチャンネル登録、高評価をお願いします。それではまたどこかでお会いしましょう。さよなら、さよなら、さよなら。なりきんばんさいでした。嘘映しちゃいけないものが映ってるのに、そのハゲ頭引っ張らたぞ。さっきこいつ、そういうことすんだとか言ってなかったか。言ってることとやってることが全然違うぞ。何してんのこいつら。こいつ愛人までいるのかよ。ほんと生臭坊主だな。あれ、本当にあれ牧師なんだろうな。ねえじゃねえよ。これはひどい。どういうことだよ、この状況。こんなひどい礼拝見たことねえ。お前が言うなだよ。